Welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mitch and Ann.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. My name is Mitch Burns, and today I'm here with Blake. Blake, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. It's Blake Walker, right? That's
correct.
I knew your last name, but I also didn't know if it was cool to say it on the podcast.
Yeah,
Blake,
that's fine.
We've discussed before on my other podcast, The Film Vaulters, but you and I are friends through the Lamoids, which is a horror group that we have, and we watch a horror movie every 2 weeks ish.
Yeah, ish.
Yeah, when there's 6 of us and more, but there's 6 of us watching the movies every 2 weeks, and sometimes the schedules get a little crazy, but that's okay. How hot is it there in Illinois right now?
I believe currently it's low 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, because in Canada it's our first really warm day, which it's 23. So, which is what for you guys? I don't know. I can never do the transaction or whatever.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know.
So that's one of the barriers on today's episode, because I have the windows open. If not, I'll be dying.
Yeah.
To try to get some cross breeze. But I live at a corner that isn't that busy. It's not like a busy corner, but when people come up to it, they fucking rev it. And sometimes they just squeal through the stop sign. So if you hear some of that in the background, I apologize. Blake, why don't you just introduce yourself? Or, everybody loves that game where it's tell us 3 things about yourself. But just I don't know, just tell us a little bit about the movies you love and what you do and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So, I've been a pretty big movie guy for most of my life, I would say, but the pandemic kind of helped boost my love for watching movies.
Yeah.
Mostly,
you're not alone there, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I hear everybody say. So,
yeah.
But mostly I'm a big horror fan. That was the first genre I really got into, but my taste has definitely expanded since. I've started to watch more recently. And then about 4 or 5 months ago, I actually started a TikTok movie page. So I've been posting there about every day for the last couple months. So that's kind of my grind right now. So
I don't go on TikTok enough, but I do have it. So I don't know if you follow me, but I will follow you back. I apologize.
For sure.
I wasn't aware of the TikTok fandom you have at Royalty. I apologize.
It's not that big. It's very small.
Yeah, I know. I mean to keep doing stuff with that. Because I want to take little clips like this one right here, and then post it over on TikTok, because I know sometimes one conversation, if it's people get in the comments, and then all of a sudden you have a TikTok that's huge. I sound like such an old man, but
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I've had it before where some of my movie TikToks have just blown up, and it's just me laying on the couch recording part of a movie that I thought was crazy, and I posted it, and people were blew it up, and it's the shittiest video. But
that's so interesting. That's all it takes to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's bizarre. I don't get it.
Yeah, I deleted that account and started a new one because the fame was just getting to me. It was too much.
I understand it. I get it.
And you make music.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I've been playing guitar for about 15 years now. I think drums a little bit less than that, and grew up in a pretty musical family. So I kind of picked that up from a lot of generations past. Yes, movies and music are kind of the 2 main outputs for creativity for me, I would say.
Yeah. That's awesome. What genre? You're more metal or?
Yeah, I like heavy. Personally, that's what I make personally. And then I joined a band last summer. So
Right.
We're playing more alternative rock, 2000s rock.
Yeah. Oh,
stuff
cool.
like that. Yeah.
I love 2000s rock. That's like my jam.
Yeah, exactly.
So today, I should have said this earlier, but we got chatting. Today we're going to talk about Obsession. I think it's safe to say that a lot of people are obsessed with this movie. I'll be right up front and say that the movie has a 4.2 on Letterboxd, which is really, really good, like for Letterboxd. And then I didn't pull up Rotten Tomatoes, but it's 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.2 on IMDb. So it's being widely loved right now. I went with a group of 5 of us, so our reactions were pretty mixed. So I'll talk about that. But did you go alone or with anyone, or how was your experience watching it?
Yeah, there was 4 of us that went. Again, me being a big movie guy, I'm kind of that person that's always doing like, hey,
Yeah.
let's go see this. So I don't know how down everybody else was or who knew about it before or whatever, but they came and I didn't get everybody's complete reaction, but it seemed mostly positive, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but
Was there a lot of people in the theater?
yeah, it was pretty packed. It was probably the busiest it's been so far, I think, this year.
Yeah, because it was interesting. I mean, I have just a little theater close to me, and it's never sold out, especially now. Like, there was times when it first opened, but now you can buy your tickets ahead of time. Again, sounding like an old man. But it was like, I don't know, maybe 25% full. But I was right with my friends, so I could gauge their reactions. And jump scares to me are the worst unless they're earned. And
Mhm.
I think this movie does earn a lot of its jump scares, especially because with a lot of them, they come out of nowhere. You're not or not. I apologize. No, the opposite. They're coming a lot of the time,
Mhm.
which I don't mind that because it's like, okay, I know to prepare a bit for something just by the camera angle. And again, we want to get into that. But I was just surprised because our friends, Snow and Rob, they couldn't get in to see it because it was
Yeah.
so packed. I don't know, it just must be their area or something. But
Yeah.
yeah.
For this movie, we went to a theater that we don't normally frequent, which
Yeah.
is usually the busier one. So
Okay.
we had seen Project Hail Mary a couple months prior,
Yeah.
and we're so used to going to a different theater where you can just show up and get tickets and it's fine because
Yeah.
nobody goes. But we forgot how busy this one gets. Project Hail Mary, we're in the third row because we
Yeah.
just forgot.
Yeah.
And that's like the big movie. So it was
Yeah.
kind of a similar situation. I was like, hopefully we can get a good seat for this. And luckily
Mhm.
we were like in 4th row, I think. So like, I think 4th row is like the good spot for me
Yeah.
personally, but
I agree. My friends and I have been sitting closer just because I have this shitty pair of glasses. So like when I go, especially by myself, I'll sit a little closer just for more like, subtitles or whatever, just in
Mhm.
case. And yeah, so it doesn't bother me now as much as I thought it would because you're never really like looking up, because now a lot of them like go back and stuff. So
For sure. Yeah.
and then we're also going to talk about Occult, which is a 2009 a Japanese film. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later, which I think is interesting. Anyways, so let's get into Occult. I mean, not Occult, sorry, Obsession. 2 O's this month. I'll just set it up quickly. We got so Michael Johnston plays Bear. It took me a long time to I kept thinking that was like a nickname or something, but it's actually Baron. You see it on his name tag later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but it took me I was like, why do they keep calling him Bear? And then it starts, I don't know how to say her name. I don't know if you do yet. It's Inde Navarette.
I think it's indie, I
Oh,
believe.
indie.
Yeah.
Okay. That would make more sense. And I actually think I've heard that.
But I think the last name's right.
Okay. Navarette. I don't know, but she's great in this. Anyways, Cooper Tomlinson plays Ian. Megan Lawless is in this as Sarah. And Andy Richter has a like tiny, tiny part in this movie. After breaking the mysterious One Wish Willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. The total is the description. Hold on. It's Jonesy 82.
No, I don't know how to spell it. Can I have your phone so I can connect it?
Oh yeah, I apologize. Sorry,
You're
the
good, man.
internet. We had internet problems earlier, and the internet problems have caused me to. I had to start like a whole internet and new connection and all that. So it's been fun. But
Oh,
I will
good.
cut. I will cut this out in the actual final edit. So essentially, it's just this. It's this guy played by Michael Johnson. His name is Bear. He gets this one wish willow. He's in love with this girl, and he's gonna give her the one wish willow. But he starts to believe that he he starts to believe that um this girl doesn't love him. He's a very awkward gentleman. I think that's actually my one complaint about the movie is it was too much. Like his awkwardness, like a lot of the things that happen later kind of shocked me because a person like him is too awkward, too weird. But we'll get into that again. I'll quickly go through this. So obviously it's horror, and because this girl Nikki, he breaks the one wish willow because he doesn't think this girl loves him or likes him even. And when he breaks the one wish willow, he says, "I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world." And it's like when you make a wish on a genie lamp or something in a movie, it goes by how you said how you said the wish, how the wish was said, and it takes it very literally. So essentially, Nikki Freeman becomes obsessed with Baron. And I'll just say this is directed by Curry Barker. You and I know Curry Barker. Well, we don't know him personally, but about a year ago, or not even, we watched the 2024 movie Milk and Cereal, which he directs and stars in with the other gentleman, Cooper Tomlinson, who's in this movie as Ian. Milk and Cereal is about a prank thing that turns wrong. We've seen those kind of movies before, but would you suggest Curry Barker's kind of first full-length film, Milk and Cereal?
I think so. I mean, I think it's a fun time.
Yeah, you gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. I ended up giving it 4.5. It's only like 70 minutes. I think that's the easiest barrier entry is like, oh, okay, this is only just over an hour. It's not as like horror, but it's really creepy, which Curry Barker kind of replicates here in this movie. So what are your overall thoughts of the movie? And then we'll dive into spoilers later, but we'll keep it spoiler free right now.
Well, I mean, overall, I love this movie a lot. I gave it 5 on Letterboxd. I absolutely loved it. I remember leaving the theater and just thinking, I really haven't seen anything like this. It's so unique.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to get into spoilers like you said or anything, but the story itself is so unique and it's really well crafted. I think the script is great. The performances, specifically Indy, are overall, they're great, but she's the standout for sure.
Yeah.
But just like, it was kind of like you hinted at a little bit earlier, but the jump scares, there's so little of them, but when they're there, they're great.
Yeah.
And they work. Yeah. But for the most part, the horror is just about the performance, I feel like. Like her performance is the horror part. And I think that's what I liked. And it was so intense. It was cringy at points, but it was purposeful. Like it was supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, and it succeeded in that.
And to just add about her acting in the jump scares, some of her acting is the jump scares.
Yeah, exactly.
Like quite literally, like you're watching her and, you think you're safe because you're just watching a performance, but some of her like moments, you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So sorry, continue.
No, I mean, that's kind of it. I'm just kind of like skimming through my review here, just seeing what I can say without giving anything away.
I'd like to go in, take a deeper dive on this in a little bit. So, but continue. I apologize for keep interrupting you.
No, you're good. I think that's kind of all of the other things I really liked just have to do with how the film was made. Like, I think the cinematography speaks like volumes on this movie as well.
Yeah.
I think if the movie was shot any other way, I don't think it would have worked as good in my opinion. But a massive shout out that I don't really see a lot of people talking about that I want to give is Rock Burwell, who composed the score for this movie.
Yeah.
I saw somebody describe it as it's calming, but it's just off enough to be discomforting. Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially
didn't
early, or go ahead, sorry.
I guess I didn't notice it as much, but thinking back on it, yeah, I think it really helped the movie. So I'm glad you
Mhm.
brought it up.
Yeah. I'll dive more because there's a specific moment I'm talking about that
Yeah,
happens. So I'll dive into that in spoilers. But that, like, those two, the cinematography and score, I think help just
I agree.
boost this atmosphere for sure.
I agree. I think I like what you said, like how the music was calming in a slightly disturbing way, because
Mhm.
even some of the score at the beginning, sorry, I don't know if I said score, but I meant score. Some of the score at the beginning almost verges on like a calming rom-com style, which gets eerier and eerier. But the cinematography is definitely something I want to talk about. It's different. He made some choices, and I don't know if I love them necessarily as much as you, but I think looking back, they're memorable.
Mhm.
There's a couple moments where we see Nikki, who is obsessed with Baron, and she is like completely covered in darkness. And at times, it's almost like her eyes look like cat eyes because they're shining a little bit off of, the moon, or just enough where you can just see her outline. And that happens many times, like 3 or 4 times, like enough where I 100% noticed it. So yeah, the cinematography by Taylor Clemens. I don't know if I know him, but it was good.
Mhm.
And a lot of this is filmed in just like one house. I didn't realize how small the cast was until the credits.
Yeah.
And the cat, like, it's a list like this, and then the cast just comes up and it's like that, and it goes by, and I was surprised because it felt like more.
Mhm.
But what I don't know if you have any other thoughts. Obviously, we can get into the acting,
Yeah.
which
No.
you already kind of did, but I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, no, I just kind of skimmed over. Like, I have so much to say about the acting specifically, but I mean,
Okay.
she's the standout for sure. I think that's unanimous among
Yeah.
everybody who's seen this movie.
Yeah.
Like, just the stuff she does is incredible. And
And I will say, just to add on to that, I think Michael Johnson isn't going to get enough credit for this.
yeah,
He is really good. I think there was a character choice made, and I don't know if it was made about him or by the writer director. He was too shy. Like I said, like at the beginning, he almost couldn't have even a conversation with Nikki. It was a lot, but we'll get into that too. So
mhm,
let's jump into spoilers if you're ready for that.
absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. So this is where spoilers start. I will let you guys know where spoilers end in the notes down below. So if you want to jump ahead, just click down in the notes and you'll be able to. So, Bear breaks the One Wish Willow, and Nikki is now like obsessed with her. And when you think of obsessed, there's many different ways you can think. And it made me think a lot, because the wish he made was, I wish Nikki Freeman would love me more than anyone in the world. And at first I'm like, okay, so she loves him better than everyone in the world. Like, to me, that's not crazy. Like, I would think, like, who does she love? Like her parents, and like a friend and stuff. And okay, so she's gonna love him a little bit more than that. But the movie clearly sets in state that she loves him more than she loves herself, and that's the issue. Is she doesn't like him a normal amount, which he tries to break the One Wish Willow and say later. She loves him more than she loves herself or any other person. And that is pretty wild, because she
It's crazy.
yeah, she will sacrifice sleep. She will do crazy things like stand all day and wait for him to come home.
Yeah.
At the door, she duct tapes the door for him so he can't leave. And then it just gets crazier and crazier as he tries to go out with his friend, and he tries to have a friend that's a girl. What's like the first thing you really wanted to jump into?
I think probably specifically, I would say the most important thing, and I think the thing everybody's going to be talking about, is just Indy's performance.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll start there, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Just I'll start just by saying her performance is, I think, gonna be frustrating for some people.
Mm-hmm.
She is doing a lot of yelling and screaming, which, if you have any person in the world yelling and screaming at you on at the top of their lungs, you're going to get frustrated with that person. And two people I brought with, like, they were pretty almost annoyed by the time the movie was over. One friend specifically, and I can see that because she is like, "Why don't you love me?" Like, when we were leaving the theater, we were jokingly yelling that at each other. "Why don't you love me?" Like, because it all becomes way too much for, what's his name? Bear's character. It becomes just too much. Like, but like we were saying with the jump scares, her performance is often the jump scare. What she does with her face, and I don't know if there's any CGI involved in that, but some of the stuff she does with her face, or like the way she jumps back really quickly, because that's one thing we learn with Nikki, is that the real Nikki is like deep inside of her and has been taken over by the Wish, essentially.
Yeah.
Who turns like Wish Nikki into almost like a puppet for this Wish. And like there's the real Nikki inside who has no control whatsoever, except for like one part in the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll let you talk there.
No, I mean, that reveal, I would love to come back to that, because that's
let's
a
talk
really
about it
interesting
now.
thing. That reveal was really cool. And I think it's sort of, we see it a couple of times throughout the movie. I feel like there's that point where he turns the case over, he calls the number, and there's the guy on the other line, and they're kind of talking a little bit about it. And, there's, I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious. There's something off with this item or whatever he's using, whatever you want to call it. But I think in that first moment, and hearing the other guy on the line talk about it, like it's clearly like, oh, there's something more going on with this. Something more like, I don't know, very almost supernatural. It felt like, and that was so interesting to me, because I was like, oh, there's clearly some lore that Curry created here for this item, but I love the way he doesn't just give it all to us. He's like, okay, it keeps us wondering, because that was something I really loved about the movie, and it probably added the extra half star for me, because I was set on 4.5, but I think, like, thinking about it, I was like, I love how there's so much more that we don't know.
Yeah.
And that being a big part of it for me.
Would just make sure you don't bang on your desk too much, because it's
I got you.
It's echoing the mic. But shit, what were you saying just at the end there?
No, just like, there's, by the time the movie ended, there's so much more we don't know. And I think that added an extra star for me.
And like, would you be happy to see a sequel that kind of, not with the same characters, obviously, which couldn't happen, I don't think, but like about this One Wish Willow thing that he breaks and the lore that is possibly behind that?
I would say, I mean, maybe I'm definitely open to it. Just because I think there is a lot more potential to explore. And I think that whole concept is really interesting. I would love, of course, I would love for this to be its own thing. I think more horror movies should be standalone for sure. But
I agree.
As long as Curry's in control and it's his story and he wants to tell it, that's what matters most, is that it's not tainted by another studio or another creative or something in trying to, retcon stuff. That's what's most important to me when horror sequels come out, I would say.
I agree. And the one thing that I found very interesting about the lore in this movie is it just gives you little hints of a much bigger world.
Yeah.
And like you said, when he's talking to him on the phone, he sounds like a young kid who's like basically just doing a part-time job. And he answers the phone. He's like, "Yep, what do you need?" Like he gets this all the time. And then there's stuff online about it. Say, people on basically like a Reddit mock-up saying,
like the Reddit thread,
saying this doesn't work, or there's another thread that says, oh my god, I need my life back. So it's definitely interesting.
Mm.
And I would love to know more, but my friend Mark idea was like if they wanted to make a sequel, almost make it like an anthology sequel, like for Netflix or Shudder or something.
Mm.
Have, you could have like half hour, 45-minute stories, right?
Yeah.
About someone breaking the one wish willow, which might almost,
Sorry.
be interesting because we already know the concept and there might be a lot of build up or trying to stretch the story out, which is one thing that really bothers me.
Mm.
So that was just his idea for a sequel,
Yeah.
if there was one. So
Yeah. Like I mean, I'm open to the idea, but I also like movies that don't give you all the answers as well.
yeah, me too.
Especially in horror. I guess this is kind of related to that, but like a big like negative for me in a lot of like monster movies or demon movies or whatever is you never show the monster.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes it works,
yeah,
but I think maybe like a big reveal at the end or something. But like, there's nothing scarier than something you can't see. And I think that also was something that I really liked about this movie. Is it's just he breaks a willow branch and then that
yeah,
fucks his whole life up. Like that.
yeah,
That's a scary concept.
yeah. Did you find any comedy in this movie? Because I definitely did.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's getting ready to leave the house and he turns around and like he's already gone through so much with her,
Yeah.
just trying to leave to go to work. She's made him lunch, which ends up being his cat in a sandwich, cooked in a sandwich for him. But he's said, you don't need to come in, everything finally. And then he turns around to leave and the door is stuck with probably, I'm guessing, 80 rolls of duct tape, something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. The amount of duct tape you have to put to make it so that you can't open a door
Mhm.
it's got to be insane.
Yeah.
And it's so comical. I don't know if you've ever seen I Think You Can Leave
Oh,
with
I
Tim
haven't. No.
Robinson. There's a skit where he goes to open a door and he realizes it's a push door, but he had just been in an interview and he doesn't want to make himself look stupid. So he turns to the guy pretending he knows everything and he's like, oh, it does both. It pushes in and pulls. And the interviewer's just like, okay. And so he starts pulling the door in and like cracking the door and trying. And it just reminded me so much of that scene. And I was laughing. And then there's definitely some parts that are so creepy and over the top that I laughed
Yeah.
because like there's a car scene. I don't know if was anything else that like made you laugh or
I mean, there's a lot, especially I would say like the first half is probably the funnier
yeah,
half of the movie. Like I think just a lot of them just being like before he does the wish or whatever, just them at the bar or
yeah,
like when it's Bear and Ian, they're in the restaurant or they're in the diner and he's like
yeah,
practicing like his speech on the waitress or whatever. Like it just felt relatable. And I think
yeah,
that was what was funny. I was
yeah,
like, these are just friends hanging out. And like the whole bar scene, I was like, it was funny because it was real. It felt real.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think as men, we can both say that we've been in this situation where there's a girl
Yeah.
and you don't have the courage to, tell her how you feel and you've thought of this, like I wish she just blah blah blah, right? So definitely there's that reality
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you specifically wanted to nail in on?
Definitely, I would say going back to her performance, I give her like one thing I put in my review was just like the fact that I think she displays her entire acting range in this movie.
Yeah.
And
Yo, for sure.
because like, again, like we start, it's just a normal life, basically.
She's a
That's where we
chill
start.
girl.
Yeah. They're just friends that she's the crush or whatever. And she's just a girl hanging out. And then,
Yeah.
but like instantly, as soon as the car scene when he drops her off at her house and he makes the wish, it's like there's immediately a change. And it's her body language, her facial expressions, and her voice as
Mhm.
well. Like those three things, and they just continue to change as the movie goes on to where like the end of the movie, it's a completely different character. And that is the point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like the way she's able to do it. And like it's almost instant. And
Mhm.
it's it was so impressive. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, she needs to get, like, I know award seasons are never nice to the horror movies, but like, this is a snub for sure if she
Yeah.
doesn't get some recognition.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of like Toni Collette's
Yes.
performance in Hereditary, which got no love at the Academy.
Yeah.
And so, even more about her performance is the physical stuff, which
Yeah.
I'm not certain what was maybe effects or whatnot, but most of it seems like she's doing herself if it's not a body double.
Hmm.
Like going really quickly into the corner, which reminded me of a scene in Hereditary.
Hmm.
And this is where the filmography comes in too, where, the shadows are really well done and it takes a while to even realize that she's in. I think there's like 2 or 3 scenes where like you don't see her for a second or even longer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just all came together to be something really, really creepy.
Yeah.
It's the one thing about Obsession is it is very creepy.
Hmm.
And it's scary. Like if I was like a teenager, this would be one that I would go see with my friends and wish I
Yeah.
hadn't, because it's just it's a lot. So
Yeah. Yeah. Like if this was one of those movies that like came out in high school, like this would be
yeah,
like the horror movie that like nobody ever the people that never watched a horror movie, they're going to because it's
yeah,
popular. Like it's
yeah,
one of those. It was like when the It remake came out. Like that
yeah.
was
That was
everybody
a
was going
huge
because it was
thing.
popular. Nobody cared about it. It was just that was the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. It just people weren't like, it's not like it was huge budget marketing, but it
Yeah.
just people were loving it. And this is a 1,750,000 to $1 million budget, and which I was just so they did so much with that.
Mhm.
Especially there's a scene in the car where I think what's Sarah
Sarah. Yeah.
Sarah meets her end. One of the few deaths in this movie.
I was gonna say like the body count is not high at all.
No, that goes with having a small cast, but
Yeah.
and then Andy Richter kind of didn't have much to do here. I was kind of wondering. I thought maybe he was put in there to kind of say, "Hey, this is like a really dark comedy. You can have some fun with it."
Hmm.
Because he's got 2 scenes. He plays Sarah's dad, and we see him. He owns the music store. But Andy Richter is a pretty famous guy, obviously, as
Yeah.
Conan's sidekick on the late night Conan O'Brien. And to go back to your about the behind the scenes One Wish Willow stuff. So he goes into like what looks like a witchy kind of store with kind of like a witchy store that sells spiritual stuff and
Yeah.
incense
Like the
and
crystals and stuff. Yeah.
exactly. And he wants to get her a crystal, Nikki a crystal, but he finds this One Wish Willow and he's going to give it to Nikki. And the woman behind the counter, she seems to know all about it. And like says, "Don't come crying to me when it goes wrong." And then when he comes back, it's another guy who looks like he's maybe 45, 50, working at this little store. And he says, like, he talks about his wish that he made. And
Hmm.
he's like, just talking about his wish. We don't know what his wish was, nothing. And I just found that interesting because he's just talking about it. And, like, that's the thing with the wish is you only get one and you got to say it correctly. And then he says, you can make a friend.
Yeah. That's right.
Basically make his own wish, but you
Hmm.
only get one wish, which is going to sound stupid. I didn't know that because I thought he could just go back and just make another wish.
Yeah.
But then I realized it's called One Wish Willow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And I think that makes it more interesting too, to where like
for sure.
he makes it, he realizes obviously as it just gets crazier that he made a mistake and now he can't go back on it. And which is that's so interesting to me. Like they easily could have just written it to where like, yeah, just make another wish. But that
Yeah.
makes the stakes so much higher.
And I don't know if you're okay with like really talking about like the end
Yeah, that's fine.
for a second. Let's put a pin in that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Before we get to the end, what I want to talk about is, would you love that job working in a music store?
100.
I actually thought of you for a second and I'm like, oh, it's crazy that we're going to talk about this movie because they're in a music store. There's 5 employees,
Yeah.
which must be a really well-running music store because around here, a store like that would be like a one like solo shop guy who just loves it. But
Yeah,
I definitely thought of you.
It's actually funny you say that because I do.
Yeah.
So I do actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I actually do. Yeah.
Shut up.
No,
Oh
no.
my
And like,
God.
yeah,
Okay. That's cool. Like, how many employees are there?
it's more of like a corporate, it's like a chain for sure.
Okay.
So it's a little bit bigger. So there's more, like, I think there's like 10 to 15 just in
See,
all the departments, but
this is the difference between Canada and America is
yeah.
you guys have a chain of music stores.
Yeah.
We have like little pop and mom and pop shops that are, they get their stuff from bigger places, but
Yeah.
oh, that's funny.
I think those are better, personally, in my opinion. But
They can be because the people behind most, I'm not saying it's not the same there, but people behind the counter know what they're doing
Mhm.
and they love music. And it's not just a corporate thing like trying to make money. People care about
Mhm.
the music. So
Yeah.
the part that I did want to get into, the music store part, was kind of a joke, but that's hilarious. Is things at the beginning go kind of right. But even our main character, Bear, is a little cautious about it. He's obviously really kind of like freaked out that this girl is all of a sudden in love with him. But she also takes it slow too. I was wondering how they were going to do that, if it was going to be immediately like, I love you, oh my God, come inside, like, but
Yeah.
she does take it like a normal relationship in some ways at the beginning, like they date and do little cute things around the house.
Yeah. There's like that montage scene.
And that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about, is that montage scene, because that makes it so I really didn't know how much time kind of went by.
Yeah.
Didn't it make it seem like a lot of time went by in that montage, but then afterwards it didn't seem like that much time had gone by?
Yeah. It's very unclear, like, the
Yeah,
timeline of this movie. Like,
I agree.
I don't know if it's supposed to be like just within like a week or a couple of days or whatever. It's pretty unclear.
Yeah,
Because they're clearly doing a lot of different things in the montage. So it's just really unclear, which
yeah.
it's a little frustrating for me. But I was looking back and doing my review. I was like, at that point, it's a little nitpicky
And I
for me
think,
personally.
yeah, and I think that's why I'm at, I'm at 4.5.
Yeah.
Lower end of 4.5 stars, 4 stars, is because there was a lot going into it that I was watching and questioning and wondering about the choices made. But it takes a really good movie to win you over on stuff that you nitpick at the beginning. I
Yeah.
didn't love how he was almost too shy to talk about around her, and all he wants is for this girl to love him. And then it happens and he's so cautious about it, and almost too cautious, because then they go through that montage and he still seems very cautious. He's taking it all in very slowly, and I don't know, it didn't work for me at first, but then it really did.
Yeah.
And then it really worked for me. Because he was cautious at first. I think there's maybe like a couple days where it seems like he's maybe enjoying it.
I
And
think so.
then
Yeah.
I think there was a few days where he was enjoying it. And I think that's what the montage is.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it uncovers a little more. But I guess I think what was one really good part about it, and was realizing I think one part that I realized that I loved was, like, I'm not a big sex scene in a movie fan, but this has a sex scene that is necessary.
Sure.
So necessary,
Yeah.
because she loves him more than anyone in the world, but you kind of understand that's the moment where she never actually found him attractive, or like was in love with him or wanted to be in a relationship with him,
Uh-huh. Hmm.
because she's just staring off into space while he's having sex with her,
Yeah.
which can be seen almost as like, a little sexual assaulty, but he doesn't realize that. He thinks this girl is madly in love with him.
Hmm.
And he doesn't realize that until that scene where she's sleeping and the one wish Willow Nikki is sleeping, and the real Nikki inside
Yeah.
she says, what does she say? Like, kill me.
Yeah. She's like, kill me or something, like,
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I probably am going to end up watching this again so I can catch some like the finer details.
sure.
But I can't remember exactly what she says, but I know like, because like he asks her to like, is it real or whatever? Do you? I don't know. I'll have to watch it again and maybe take more notes. But like, I can't remember this specific, but I know he like asks her because I know after he does like, which like, this is kind of related. So I'll just jump in with this anyway. So, going back to the scene where he calls the number and I can't, you can't retract your wish. You can't alter it or anything. And then he's like, oh yeah, do you want to talk to her or whatever? And we hear her on the line. And I think it's open to interpretation at that point.
Yeah.
Which I really like. But then even in that moment, he's asking the guy, like, is it real? And that's sort of like after that moment, anytime something weird happens, it's back to that question, like, is this even real?
Yeah.
So this is something I wanted to mention anyway. So it kind of like all worked out perfectly. So
which like I think that could be really looked at if you wanted to study this movie. I think all of that could be really looked at about what does that mean? Like, like love stories about where you're not sure one person is really as into the, relationship as the other.
Yeah.
Things such as that. So I think, I don't know, I was definitely thinking about that a lot. I haven't written my review, but just thinking about my review, I was, giving it some more thought. And I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about. I do just want to get your opinions on how it ended, what you thought, if you liked that ending, or if you saw that coming. What are your thoughts?
I actually quite enjoyed the ending. I thought it was, I always like movies that end on a bummer, if that makes sense. Like, I think
I agree.
interesting because it's like, you get the typical, like, the happy ending or whatever, like, we beat the bad guy or what, and, horror is the wrong genre to use that word for, but movies that end on a bummer, I feel like are just so much more memorable.
I agree.
That also is another thing that I commend this movie for, is it's not afraid to get dark at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know, he calls a number and, the guy's like, yeah, for as long as you live. And then he's like, oh, for as long as I live. So clearly it was foreshadowed.
Yeah.
I think, but there were still moments throughout the film where I was like, I'm not sure if he's going to go that far.
See, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I was just like, there was a possibility there where I thought the only thing I can do is to kill her. Like, cause she said, can you kill me? But then I guess I did think, cause it had been told to him. Yeah. If you die, the wish stops.
Yeah.
And I guess there was a time where I thought, I guess he could just kill himself. But then I thought, wow, that's such a big out for him to kill himself. But then he ultimately kind of does that.
Yeah.
Because I think even if the wish ended, he would have felt so bad because this girl who was basically a puppet, right, just killed like two of her friends, and if you were to wake up all of a sudden from a coma and you would kill two of your friends, I mean, you'd want to go back in the coma because like you're going to go to jail or something, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was definitely wondering how it was going to end. My one friend was thinking it was kind of predictable, and I didn't see that ending coming.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially with the buildup, going to his. I love how like when we were in the end game, it started. Like I think like as soon as he goes over to his friends and tries to get him to make the wish, we are on a downward slope to the end, and it happens quickly, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so I don't know if you have any final thoughts.
I kind of just going back, like, I think it definitely is built up to like, oh, he's going to kill himself at the end.
Yeah.
But then I think he's not like, I don't think it's very clear right away that he's sure about that.
Yeah.
So, it kind of goes on a little bit. And then, it's the bedroom scene where he's sneaking out and the real Mickey comes out and is asking her or him to kill her.
Yeah.
And I think that moment, the way I interpret it is him changing his mind about how he was going to end it. Like instead of taking himself out of the equation, he was just going to be like, well, maybe if this is what she wants, then I'll just do this.
Yeah.
And then obviously we see what ultimately happens at the end. But what I thought was really interesting too was he locks himself in the bathroom and then he takes the pills because he remembered the cat at the beginning of the movie.
I didn't connect that actually until I was researching for our episode. I didn't connect that.
Oh, yeah.
That it was the same pills and that was foreshadowing as well. So I think this movie is definitely even smarter than I give it credit for.
For
But
sure.
continue.
Yeah. No, I think, he takes those and then, he takes those because he didn't have the strength to pull the trigger on himself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he goes that route. And then there's a brief moment where he's trying to make himself vomit, but then we hear that she breaks the willow.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, it's very clear what she just did.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, cool. So now they're both kind of what she has been the whole movie.
Yeah,
to each
on
other.
the same level.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But little does she know what he just did in the bathroom. So then immediately he overdoses.
Yeah.
And then it goes to her about to well, I guess the puppeteer, I'll call her, that version of herself.
Yeah.
The one that's pulling all the strings, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
She's about to take her life, but then the real version goes back out. And I think that is such an interesting ending. Like that. It was just an interesting, and like I said, the ending on a bummer, I think, is so much fun.
And
it just sticks with you.
Yeah, I think her acting is amazing throughout. So I think it was wild to see that at the very end, we get maybe her best acting.
Yeah.
Is her breaking and like waking up and realizing what's happened because she's got like 2 dead friends in the room and blood all over her. And she's probably in pain.
There's that like weird shrine that she had on the table in the room too. Yeah.
Yes. Anyways.
Crazy.
So I'm 4.5 stars. You said you're 5?
I'm at 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm 4.5, and I can't wait to watch this again with people who haven't seen it.
Same.
So
yeah, I'm gonna try to take some other people maybe and see what they think. And hopefully my rating doesn't go down. But I loved it. But
I doubt.
I do want to highlight too. I think the last shot is incredible. Where she's panned on her and then it pans down to his body and then sort of like rotates upside down to the TV.
Yeah.
And then the credits roll through the TV. I thought that was awesome.
I agree. And
super cool.
My friend who couldn't stand her screaming anymore was frustrated because it continues to scream during the credits.
Oh, okay. I kind of like that though, because I like that instead of just cutting right to music, it's like the music comes in, but she's still fucking screaming, bro.
We know her pain is continuing and it's unsettling, which is what a movie is supposed to do. And this movie definitely does it. We are going to, what's that?
I was just going to say, I think it'd be fun to maybe end with some a little behind the scenes stuff about the movie. I don't know if we did any research about it or anything, but
I haven't. The only thing, obviously, I did my tangential research, but I knew going into this that the director was him and the guy who plays the friend in this movie. They are like best friends, and they used to do a lot of TikToks and reels and videos that were hilarious. Like I was sharing them because they've come back up, and so I've been sharing them with friends and stuff. I used to love them. So when I saw Milk and Cereal, I was like, wait, I love these guys.
Yeah.
So
no, I felt the exact same way too. I was like, oh, I remember their sketches. Yeah.
What else did you have? I'd love to.
Typically, when I watch a movie that I love, I always love to watch all of the interviews and stuff. I think the press junkets are super interesting.
Awesome.
Especially for horror films.
Yeah.
So I dove in a little bit. I just looked up some of Curry Barker's upcoming projects. He's got another film, it looks like paranormal, centering on paranormal investigators.
Okay.
They're actually con artist paranormal investigators that like set up fake like hauntings and stuff. And
that seems like his vibe.
Exactly. He's writing, directing it, and he's starring in this one as well with Cooper Tomlinson. But Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad will be in it as well.
Oh shit.
Bryce Dallas Howard. So pretty cool cast.
Oh wow, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that.
I know. Apparently that's done filming already, so hopefully soon we'll get to hear more about it, and I'm sure that will be fast tracked because of the success of this film.
For sure.
And I know he was recently just signed on for the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie as well.
Yeah, I did hear that. That's
pretty awesome.
It could be really good. Like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
And there's a few of the like remakes and stuff that I do like.
Mhm.
There's some weak ones generally, but yeah, no, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely one of the things I put in my review actually is like the first sentence. I was like, Curry Barker definitely has my attention, so I will probably be watching anything he makes going forward.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff I found, just some stuff I heard in some of the interviews. You mentioned Hereditary as sort of like some stuff that
Definitely
you kind
got
of pulled from.
vibes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess before they started shooting, they actually had a watch party with the whole cast. So that is one
No
of the
shit.
yeah, that's one of the inspirations for the movie, clearly. So, and for her performance as well. So,
Yeah. And I can see that because the movie is very spatially aware and it does a lot with his little house. Like it does a
yeah.
lot. We are in that house a lot.
Mhm.
And so that was the house almost became a character, like some people like to say. And Hereditary was like that a lot too. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you mentioned that earlier. I was like, oh, this will be a perfect thing to bring back up later.
For
So,
sure.
and then I guess the one last thing that I thought was really fun, but the casting process, I guess, during chemistry tests with the two leads was actually not necessarily cast because of how great their chemistry was, but more because of at first, like how awkward their relationship was,
Yeah.
which I think plays into the movie really well because Michael Johnson's character is kind of a very like awkward guy and
Yeah.
almost like uncomfortably awkward. And I guess that is part of the reason they cast those two characters or those two actors, I guess, because of just the way they kind of were a little awkward first meeting. But I just thought that was really interesting because I know you mentioned like his awkwardness was sort of weird and a little off-putting almost. But I guess that was part of the reason
Yeah.
going into casting that actor, which I found super interesting.
Yeah. And I can kind of tell because in a way, not obviously I can't tell that, but that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Because near the end, his character is like a totally changed, he's in fight or flight mode, and it's really interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's all I had for fun behind the scenes stuff, but I always like kind of diving into the making of these films and all that.
Yeah.
So I thought that'd be a little fun segment to throw in there at the end.
does the actress, if you saw her speak at all, does she have an accent or is she seem
Uh,
like she's
She, as far as I know, I think she's American, I believe.
okay? I just didn't know what the last name, but
I think
yeah.
she's American, but she might have, I didn't dive deep into her
Yeah.
background or anything, but on Letterboxd she's credited as American actress. So,
Okay.
but yeah, in the interview, she's definitely has an American accent. So
Yeah. So do you want to still quickly talk about Occult? We'll probably not have too much to say.
I mean, might as well dive in. Let's do it.
Yeah. So our Lamoids pick for this month or whatever was Occult. Our friend Rob picked this one. It is a 2009 Japanese horror film. And it is about a man interviewing the survivors of a small attack that ended up killing 2 and injuring 1. And so the injured one, he essentially starts to interview, and this person might be a little off as the movie goes on. I was not sure where this movie was going to go at all, and it's essentially just following this guy around, and at first you're not entirely sure what's going on with this guy, and he's just being interviewed, but then they keep interviewing him, and he gets weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
Obviously. And this movie goes in places I really did not expect. It's what people call J-horror, which I hadn't heard the term before.
Interesting. Yeah.
But it's like, they said it was one of the early movies around that time when they had like, Ringu, the original Ring that was made in Japan and stuff like that. I think I liked this like half a star better than you.
I think so. Yeah. I have it at 2. So
Yeah, I'm 2.5. It's not much of a horror film. To me, it felt more akin to like something like almost like We Need to Talk About Kevin meets The Master.
sure.
And it doesn't pick up until like the last half an hour. I think there's just way too much build up and the build up isn't tense enough. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm 2.5 stars. I don't recommend it, but I don't know. There's a lot of people who like this movie, which I was shocked. I don't think a lot of people have seen this movie.
Yeah.
But It's got a 6.5 on IMDb and a 3.6 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which is pretty good. So what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, two stars for me, like, didn't love it by any means,
Yeah.
but I also didn't think it's like unwatchable. I think
For sure.
there's some really interesting parts to it for sure. Like I said, I think the ending is pretty good. I think about the halfway point till the end is really good and interesting, but I do think that the buildup is just too much because there is some payoff, but I just feel like the payoff isn't enough for what the buildup was.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like it just builds up for too long and then kind of just kicks it at a high gear and then goes a completely different direction.
And it's the ending kind of makes you want to say, holy fuck. Like it wants to be like kind of those what the fuck endings, but
Yeah.
it isn't. Like you couldn't have seen this ending coming from a mile off.
No.
Where all of this ends up going, and there's squiggly worms involved, and there's just no way you would have seen this ending coming. And it's just, I don't think it's the what the fuck moment that the creators thought.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. Like I said, it starts out as this almost like documentary, like found footage type of movie of like investigating a murder or something. And then it just, by the end of the movie, becomes this weird, like occult movie, basically, you know, hence the title of the movie. But it takes a 180 really quickly out of nowhere.
Very quickly. And I will just say quickly, I was going to check. I knew what it was, but we are watching Suitable Flesh as our next Lane White's pick.
Correct.
So, and it's a newer movie because I almost meant to watch it. I want to say last year or the year before, 2023, but it's Heather Graham, Barbara Crampton, Judah Lewis, some names. It's 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm definitely interested to see that, and hopefully we can talk about that one. If it's good or bad, and warn people.
Yeah, for sure.
Was there anything else wanted to add or say before we end the show?
I don't think so. Unfortunately, we don't have unlimited time because I could like sit and talk about Obsession all day.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. It's
just so good. It's incredible.
Yeah. Like we went out for a drink after and we were talking about it a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to talk about. So
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up on a lot of people's top 10s of the year.
Yeah. I agree.
Some people are already putting it there. I know some people are talking about it as a horror movie of the decade, which I think is in the conversation for sure. But the decade's also not over. So
yeah, I think it's kind of this year's Weapons where we got a lot of early talk and or Bring Her Back. It's kind of like that early year horror movie that will we still be talking into the end of the year probably. Hopefully it stays in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, it's like the Sinners from last year. I feel like.
For sure. So where can people find you? Like, what's your TikTok and such that people can follow you on? Yeah,
my TikTok would be where I'd recommend people to follow me if you like movie stuff and TV stuff. It is just at Blake R. Walker. You can follow me there. I post usually daily, sometimes every other day, just whenever I can get stuff out. But movie reviews, rankings.
Yeah.
I'm doing a Christopher Nolan watch through right now and prep for the Odyssey. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. But
have you seen most of his stuff?
Actually, I haven't seen most of it. So before doing this, I've only seen the Batman movies that he's done.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So a lot of his movies I'm seeing for the first time. And I'm probably after this, I'm going to go watch The Dark Knight, which I haven't seen in probably a decade. So that's going to be exciting for me to revisit.
And that's something so interesting is hearing someone's experience who hasn't seen a movie for the first time. And to me, The Dark Knight feels so big, but you were probably very young when it came out.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to hear your take on it now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like I said, I've seen it. It's been probably a decade. I loved it then, but it's any excuse to revisit The Dark Knight, I'm down for. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you're also on Letterboxd. Do you
oh yeah.
Do you know your Letterboxd handle?
I believe, let me pull it up. Yeah, it is 13 B Walker 13.
Okay.
Follow me there. I watch a lot of movies every week, so I'm always posting something up there as well.
And I am on Letterboxd as the Hollywood Persona, and I'm going to play the outro music here, and I just want to thank everyone for watching or listening. This will be on YouTube and Spotify as well. So, and thank you, Blake, for being a part of this.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It was
No
really
problem. Okay, we'll say bye to the people, and we'll stick around because I need the upload thing. So,
fun. Nice.
Persona
Jesus
Podcast.
Christ,
You can
that's
find
loud.
us on.
You're staying here. Okay. All right. Thanks, bud. I'm going to end this session. We're still live technically, but just it's going to upload. So don't close the video after I end the session. Okay.
Right.
Until it
Yes.
says-
Yes. I remember that from last time.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, buddy. Well, thank you. And I'll let you know when it's all posted and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just shoot me a message. So I'll just leave it up and then just let me know.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Bye.
See you.